Our top focus this news wheel, because here at News9 we continue to track the massive seismic emergency across the Pacific. A powerful 8.8 magnitude earthquake that struck eastern Russia, setting off tsunami warnings, mass evacuations and triggering alerts in at least a dozen countries.
Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой. Васечка мой маленький, Васечка. Сейчас пойдем. Сейчас пойдем, подожди.
The US Geological Survey confirms the quake hit at a shallow depth of 18 kilometers, making it one of the strongest ever recorded in this particular far Russian east region.
Офигеть!
The epicenter of the quake was just 78 miles from Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky, and tremors were felt across the far eastern coastline as well. Dramatic visuals showing videos that have emerged now on social media from the very region, showing violent shaking inside buildings, inside homes, and damage reported at multiple places. Now, fortunately, as of now, no fatalities have been confirmed, but visuals do show damaged structures, flooded ports, and coastal towns evacuating under tsunami sirens.
Охуеть! Как вы, девочки? Нормально все?
Well, a video from the hospital shows the surgical staff steadying the equipment as the tremor hits, determined to finish what they started. That's a surgery that's still underway when the 8.8 magnitude massive earthquake hit. In Kamchatka, as the earth shook violently, doctors in an operating theater continued with their surgery, refusing to abandon the patient mid-operation. The town of Severokurilsk,
Как вы, девочки?
this is in the Kuril Islands,
Нормально
has been
всё?
completely evacuated. Russian scientists now confirm that this is the strongest earthquake in Kamchatka since 1952. The Kuril Islands, aerial footage of the damage as well. Tsunami waves have already hit parts of Russia, 3 to 4 meters high. Visual footage of a person stuck in a particular wave right on the coastal Kuril Islands. Again, the Kamchatka region with his pet dog, nonetheless, inside the car. Dilapidated structures now coming down, and rescue operations underway across far east in Russia. Northeast, if you specifically talk about the Kamchatka Peninsula and the Kuril Islands nearby. More than 2,700 people that have been evacuated from the Kuril Islands alone. 8.8 magnitude earthquake. But then again, the entire region, tsunami alerts in at least a dozen of these countries, and the aftershocks of Russia quake rippling into Japan as well. Hokkaido, Japan, visuals on your screens. The tremors triggering nationwide tsunami warnings, especially for Hokkaido and the country's northeastern coast. In a haunting sign of marine distress, 4 large whales were found washed ashore in Tateyama City. This is in Chiba. Marine experts believe that these strandings Whales washing up ashore are often tied to underwater seismic shifts and tsunami turbulence. So far, Japan has recorded a 50-centimeter tsunami wave at Ishinomaki port, but the Japan Met Agency warns that waves could rise up to 3 meters, nearly 10 feet, in the coming hours. People taking to higher ground. Memories of the previous tsunami still fresh. Entire families moving towards the hilly regions, the mountainous regions, moving from the low-lying areas, trying to find some sort of higher ground on the rooftops and terraces of various buildings. Ripple effects and aftershock of that 8.8 magnitude earthquake in the Kamchatka province and region of Russia. And now it's aftershock being felt across the northwestern coastline of Japan.
本日8時25分ごろ、カムチャッカ半島付近を震源とするマグニチュード 8.7 の地震が発生いたしました。この地震に伴い、北海道から和歌山県の太平洋側の沿岸に津波警報が発表され、高いところで3メートル程度の津波が予想されております。
Meanwhile, Shanghai is grappling with a double threat. We're talking about a tropical cyclone and now a tsunami alert linked to the Russian quake. Shanghai relocated more than 280,000 people, halted hundreds of flights and ferry services, and imposed speed limits on roads and railways as a tropical storm whipped the eastern China belt with gales and heavy rain. China has issued a yellow tsunami alert after that 8.8 magnitude earthquake off Kamchatka, warning of possible strong waves along the coast of Shanghai, Zhoushan and Taipei. A dozen countries that have now issued tsunami alerts, a yellow tsunami alert in place for Shanghai as well, that is already grappling with the cyclone on its eastern belt. Flights halted, ferries affected, road and transport rules in emergency in place. Shanghai, Zhoushan and Taipei, the most affected. And as part of the 12 nations that have issued tsunami alerts, tsunami activity has also reached American shores. Waves have begun hitting Hawaii's islands, prompting evacuations earlier in the day. Officials have now downgraded the alert to a tsunami advisory, allowing residents to return home but exercise caution. Along the United States West Coast, states like California, Oregon, Washington and Alaska, along with Canada's British Columbia, remain on alert as waves are expected over there in the coming hours. A tsunami watch has also been extended to parts of South America and Southeast Asia, including Ecuador, Peru, Colombia and Indonesia.
Our number one priority is life safety. And so right now it's an easy thing. Get away from the beaches, get inland and get upward. So that's our message right now. I would also tell you that we are working hard with all of the city agencies and other stakeholders to make sure that we are activating the tsunami assembly areas around the Oahu. And we want everyone to, if you do live in an area that's within a tsunami area, first and foremost, go to a friend's house, go to a neighbor's house, go to your workplace, but go inward and upward out of the tsunami area.
All right. My colleague, Karthik Malhotra, explains the location of the epicenter very quickly and the ripple effect it's now having across the Pacific bordering nations as well, even as that 8.8 magnitude earthquake shook the Kamchatka region. This is Karthik Malhotra explaining the exact geographical location of the epicenter of this earthquake.
Geographical context to where we are seeing these impacts of the earthquake, the jolts of the earthquake, the magnitude, as well as the tsunami really emerging from. Let's first pull up the Kuril Islands in Russia on a map that we've drawn up here for you. And these are the Kuril. So this is pretty much Russia. And within Russia, the Kuril Islands is this entire chain of islands. Now, the epicenter for this particular earthquake happens to be the Kamchatka Peninsula, and that is right here. So when you look at India, India being somewhere here on the map, moving towards Russia, this is the northeastern part of Russia. The Kamchatka Islands are right here, and this is the epicenter of the earthquake, 8.8 on the Richter scale. And then southwest is this entire little islands, not inhabited by too many people. These little islands form what are called the Kuril Islands, which are an integral part of marine life for Russia. And these islands are, the tip of these islands is pretty much just a stone's throw distance away from Hokkaido Islands in Japan. So this is Hokkaido. Hokkaido, like we have been talking, is the home to companies like Toyota as well as some engines by Isuzu. So Hokkaido, not too far, in fact, just about 100 nautical miles or so from the southernmost tip of the Kuril Islands, which have been impacted by this massive quake. Remember, Kamchatka happens to be the epicenter, and the tsunami waves have flown all through this entire region, right up to Hokkaido, where tsunami has, the tremors of tsunami have been felt. Well, we don't know exactly the extent of loss to property and infrastructure at the moment, but like Mithali was saying, that there are high walls, and 3 meters may not be a big enough dent to cause a massive rout on companies and their operational abilities. Let's also look at all the other areas where warning signs have been rung and these alarms have rung. In fact, like Shri was telling us some time back, now the Hokkaido region, which is then going to lead to Japan, and the central parts of Japan may not be impacted, but the wave is likely to spread in the other direction. And when it spreads in the other direction, remember, the earth is round. So what you're seeing on the to the opposite direction, then as far as New Zealand in the southern peninsula of the Pacific is likely to be impacted, and on the other side, which is the west coast of US and all the way down to South America, these are the regions where alarm bells have been rung, all the way from the Honolulu Islands, which are somewhere in between the US west coast and the Japanese east coast. Honolulu, there have been tsunami warnings that have been rung, down to Hawaii Islands, and then all the way up to Alaska. So if you were to connect this end of the earth with this end of the earth, Hokkaido and the Kuril Islands and Kamchatka are in fact quite close to Alaska here in North America. So overall, if the waves are moving in the other direction, if from our standpoint of the world, if the waves are moving in the eastern direction, then in the eastern direction, they are likely to impact these regions as well.
In yet another chilling reminder of caste-based violence in the state of Tamil Nadu, a young Dalit IT professional fallen victim to what's suspected to be brutal honor killing in broad daylight. Take a look at this. The main accused, the girl's brother, is now behind bars, booked under the stringent Goondas Act of the state. The 27-year-old Kavin Selva Ganesh was hacked to death in Tirunelveli's KTC Nagar. The man behind the murder, 23-year-old Surjit, the brother of the girl, has now been arrested and remanded in judicial custody. Police sources reveal this wasn't just a random attack, it was calculated, cold-blooded honor killing. Kavin Selva Ganesh was reportedly in a long-term relationship with the accused Surjit's sister, Subhashini, who is a doctor. Their relationship had been bitterly opposed by her family, allegedly due to Kavin's caste. What's more is that the parents of Surjit and Subhashini are a SI couple, a cop couple. Whilst Kavin belonged to the scheduled caste, Devendra Kula Velalar community, Subhashini's family comes from the dominant Marawad subcaste of the Tewar community. Ignoring multiple threats, Kavin visited Subhashini's clinic with his grandfather. That's when Surjit, the brother of Subhashini, allegedly confronted him, hurled casteist slurs, threw chili powder into his eyes, and then chased him down with a sickle, killing him on the spot. Kavin's mother, who was present during the murder, lodged a police complaint accusing Surjit and his parents, both of whom, like I mentioned, are sub-inspectors of police, of planning the entire attack. An FIR has been filed naming Subhashini's father, Sarvanan, and mother, Krishna Kumari, as the first and the second accused. Surjit is listed as the third in this case. And both parents have been taken into custody for interrogation, a brutal murder that once again exposes the caste fault lines in Tamil Nadu and the urgent need for legal and social reforms to honor killings. Will this case finally be that wake-up call? Well, only time will tell. Moving on, a major terror conspiracy linked to Al-Qaeda has been busted in Gujarat by the Gujarat ATS. The crackdown has exposed a pan-India network of sleeper cells operating online and offline aimed at radicalizing the Indian youth. Now, take a look at this. Linkages to Bengaluru. The mastermind is Shama Parveen, a 30-year-old BCom graduate from Jharkhand. She was arrested from Bengaluru in a joint operation by the Gujarat ATS, the central agencies and the local police in Karnataka. Shama Parveen is accused of running an online terror module tied to Al-Qaeda in the Indian subcontinent, the AQIS. She was radicalizing youth, promoting Ghazwa-e-Hind ideology and recruiting through social media. Shama Parveen operated from her home in Bengaluru, where she lived with her family. She rarely stepped out and worked secretly through encrypted applications like Telegram and Instagram. Investigators recovered laptops, mobiles, maps, and Pakistan-linked data from her possession. She was using VPNs, the dark web, and fake IDs like Stranger Nation 2 to spread this alleged jihadist content. Before her arrest, the Gujarat Anti-Terror Squad had arrested 4 other suspects linked to the Al-Qaeda in the Indian subcontinent, the AQIS. They were picked up from Ahmedabad, Bharuch, Noida and Delhi on the 22nd of July. All 5 were connected via social media. And Shama Parveen, the mastermind of it all, created radical content and sent it to the others, including Muhammad Asif and Shamim Ahmed. Gujarat ATS formed 9 different teams to probe the case across multiple states. All accused are booked under UAPA. Shama Parveen is being brought to Ahmedabad for custodial interrogation.
ATS ने अल-कायदा इंडियन सबकॉन्टिनेंट के पहले 4 आतंकियों को गिरफ्तार किया है। कल एक और बड़ी सफलता गुजरात ATS को प्राप्त हुई है। एक महिला जो बेंगलुरु से है, ये आतंकी खास तौर पे हाईली रेडिकलाइज है, ऑनलाइन टेरर मॉड्यूल पे काम करती हैं। उसके बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण पाकिस्तानी संपर्क भी उसके अलग अलग डिवाइसेस से मिले हैं। गुजरात ATS की ये प्रोएक्टिवली पुलिसिंग के माध्यम से 5 जितने महत्वपूर्ण ऑनलाइन टेरर मॉड्यूल पे काम करने वाले अल-कायदा इंडियन सब कॉन्टिनेंट के ये आतंकियों को गिरफ्तार करने में सफलता प्राप्त हुई है। मैं गुजरात ATS को बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन देता हूँ।
ये टोटल 3 प्रोफाइल्स आइडेंटिफाई की गई। इसके साथ साथ इस टेक्निकल टीम द्वारा ये प्रोफाइल कौन चला रहा है, इसके बारे में इन्वेस्टिगेशन किया गया और इनको जानने को मिला कि एक शमा परवीन नाम से एक महिला है जो कि RT नगर बेंगलोर में रहती है। वो इन तीनों प्रोफाइल को चला रही है। ये प्रोफाइल काफी पॉपुलेटेड है, 10,000 से ज्यादा हर एक प्रोफाइल में फॉलोअर्स हैं। इस आइडेंटिफिकेशन के बाद में एक दूसरी टीम बनाएगी जिसमें DYSP विरजीत परमार, PI AS चावड़ा, वायरलेस PI मणाल शाह, PSI अमन पटेल, BJ पटेल तथा ASI हिनाबेन मकवाना, इनकी टीम को बेंगलोर भेजा गया। इंटर स्टेट ऑपरेशन ये एक था जिसमें सेंट्रल एजेंसीज की मदद ली गई, राज्य पुलिस की मदद ली गई। इसके द्वारा जो शमा परवीन है इसको उसके निवास स्थान से पकड़ा गया। इसकी प्रारंभिक पूछपरछ की गई और जो शंकास्पद फोन वगैरह थे वो कब्जे किए गए। शुरुआती पूछपरछ में इसने एक्सेप्ट किया कि वो अल-कायदा से रिलेटेड कंटेंट डालती थी